So you can pre-assign preventative maintenance to a user. You can set it as a priority. You can attach a link to a SharePoint drive or a Google Drive where a document might reside, and you can attach. Okay? You can also assign to a vendor. Remember, when you're in here and you are talking about adding documentation, it is important to remember to actually reference it. Please see attached, right? Or please see link, right? Or please see reference document. It just points the person in the right direction as far as attaching any documentation. As soon as you save, preventative maintenance task is now live. I go to the end of my list. There's my annual building inspection. Okay. Now, when it comes to preventative maintenance, you do have the ability in some cases to pause a PM if it is not something that your building does. Probably the most common one is elevator. You can pause a PM, and we recommend pausing PMs and not removing PMs, especially if they've been preset already in your system. You can absolutely pause it. It's going to ask you, are you sure that you want to pause? And you go, yes, and then it will be paused. The paused PMs will not activate in the system. They will stay paused. And then all you have to do is come in here and filter specifically by your active list, and that will show you everything that's open. Now, if we look over to the left again, we have a chart. And the chart is a carryover from the classic version. And the chart actually shows you what's coming up in the future. And this was what was used before the planner came into play. Okay, so again, I can see all of my preventative maintenance coming up in the future, and I can actually change my date range, and I can see what was in the past, and I can see what's coming up in the future. I can also print a PDF view from here too. And then we get to the planner. So the planner is a calendar view rather than a list view of your active PMs. And it will always default to the week. And if you want to see a month, you can see everything that's coming up. The planner is a really good way to do checks and balances between your scheduled list and what you have active, because it's easy in a scheduled list to not realize that you've overloaded a couple of days, or set the time for PMs to be at the same time to trigger rather than staggering them by 15 minutes. So again, you see here I've got 2, and I could have quite a few triggering at the same time. So I can go in and I can adjust my PM directly from my planner. So if I don't like the date that it's falling on, maybe it's actually on a Saturday or a Sunday, and I want to go in and adjust it, I'm going to double click and open up here, and I can go in and I can adjust my schedule. So for example, I want to have this on a Wednesday rather than on a Thursday. I might go in and adjust my time from 7:15 to maybe 7 a.m. and I've got it scheduled for every month. And then it will move it over to where I want it to be. This is really helpful too, because in some cases you might overload days, and you need to make sure that you're not overloading the days so that you're not having all of your PMs trigger at the same time on the same day. You can stagger them a little bit. You know, that's a little bit different than your daily and weekly that usually fall on the same day because they're pretty well standardized as far as timing goes. Monthly, you could have them come in at the beginning of the month, like again, you know, the first Monday or the first Tuesday, depending on what your schedule is currently, and same with annually. So you can start looking forward in the future, and you can start to see all of your preventative maintenance that's coming up, and you can do a PDF view, and you can print it off if you want to.